Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and for the 5th year, I am returning for the annual Read What You Own Challenge, formerly known as the 100 Book Challenge. 5 years ago, the evil mastermind, Criminali, had a bet with his son that if they started up YouTube channels, one would get to 100 subscribers first. Criminali won. As a form of penance, he challenged himself to read 100 books that he already owned before buying another book. And this challenge just sort of took off on its own. It was intended to be just a personal thing that he was doing, but Juan at Plagued by Visions joined, I joined, Michael K. Vaughan joined, and some other people joined that initial 100 book challenge. And it's morphed over the years into the Read What You Own challenge because not everyone can read 100 books before buying another book. But this is the pure joy of the challenge. If you are like me, I buy a lot of books, more books than I can possibly read. So I have a huge backlog of unread books. And how to get through this backlog? Restrict yourself from buying some books until you meet your challenge. Now, this sounds like a hardship, but it isn't a hardship. It's actually a very enjoyable privilege. I say privilege, almost a privilege to say, I cannot buy books until I meet my own goals. Now, these goals are basically set your own goals. We have a number of tiers and ideas to help you set these goals. You do not have to follow any of these goals to participate in this challenge. Now, I said we because there is, of course, Criminali, there is MJ at Reading This Life, and there is Crystal at Fiber Artsy. We are your hosts for this event to encourage you to make your own buying challenge. That is, of course, assuming that you have a problem with buying too many books and not reading them all. So here are our suggestions. Go look at your unread books and get fired up for reading them. Not a rule, but a suggestion. Set yourself a target for what you want to achieve before buying any books. This should be challenging, but realistic. It can be whatever you want, be a number of books, a page count, a period of time, or something else. Read a percentage of the books that you own, or to get your TBR down to X number, something like that. Specify any exceptions you're giving yourself. Example, gifts, books bought at a particular event, books by people you know, books for challenges, etc. And last and most important, enjoy. This does not have to be drudgery. This can be fun. If at any time it becomes drudgery and unfun, you quit. There is no shame in quitting. Now, we have created some tiers just to help you along decide what might be the proper goal for you. Now, the first year we did that, everyone did the 100 book challenge. But beginning in year 2, we came up with a tier system where you could choose the number of books in your tier and give yourself an award. And that started with the bronze, 25 books. In later years, we added this a page challenge because reading a certain number of books sorts of encourage you to read only short books. So we've added the page challenge, and we have determined that the average book is 250 pages. So bronze is 25 books, or 6,250 pages. Silver, 50 books, or 12,500 pages. Gold, 75 books, or 18,750 pages, and Platinum, 100 books, or 25,000 pages. We are also going to be adding a lower tier. This tier really is not named. You may want to call it the turtle tier, or the tin tier, or the snowflake tier. But that's going to be 10 books, or 2,500 pages. Now again, you do not have to follow any of these tiers that we are suggesting. You can make your own, and that is perfectly fine. There is another time element that we want to throw out. Set a time limit or a date when your challenge ends. This is how long you think you can go without buying a book. Now, make it a challenge, but make it a realistic challenge. And then at the end of your challenge or your date, see how far you got. How many books did you read? How many pages did you read? And reward yourself for what you can accomplish. Now for me, I am going for the Platinum 25,000 pages because I do want to read some longer books. Now I do have a number of exceptions. My Audible credits. Every year in October, I buy 24 Audible credits on their Platinum membership plan. So I have those 24 book credits to use throughout the year. I've paid for them. I have to use them. So any book that I purchase from the Audible credit will count towards my challenge. Collectible books. I like old pulpy paperbacks. If I see a really great old pulpy paperback or other collectible book on sale, I'm going to buy it. I will not deny myself that pleasure. If I do buy a collectible book and I read it, it will not count towards completing my challenge. Book club or reading events. I belong to an in-person book club. I belong to or participate in a number of reading events on BookTube. I will not always own these books during this challenge, so if I have to buy one of these books or for the book club or event, I am going to count it towards my challenge. In previous years, I said I'm not going to count the pages, but if I'm sort of required to read this book, I'm just going to go ahead and count it. Gifts. I'm allowed to receive books as gifts. It would be rather rude of me to refuse a book just because I'm participating in this Read What You Own challenge. I can support local, known authors or charities. This is a case where, let's just say, a fellow booktuber publishes a book. I'm allowed to buy that book. Let's suppose there is a local charity. Just for the sake of argument, let's just say my local SPCA has a book fair to buy some used books. I can go buy books from them because you're supporting the charity. My last exception is rather dubious. My favorite contemporary publisher is NYRB Classics. Usually at the end of December, they have a 40% sale off their entire catalog. You can see them behind me. I sort of collect NYRB Classics books. So I'm sort of including that in my collectible books, but I'm putting it as a standout because it is rather dubious. So what books will I be reading for the 5th annual Read What You Own challenge? I don't have a TBR, not exactly, but I want to focus on reading some of the books that I've purchased since the end of the 4th annual Read What You Own challenge, because I've bought a lot of them, Kindle books and used paperbacks. So 50% of the books that I read for this 5th challenge, I want to be books that I purchased last year. That's not a hard and fast goal. That's just something I want to pay attention to, because if I bought them last year, eventually I'm supposed to read them. So now is the time to read those books. That's just one thing I'm going to try this year. The challenge begins on Wednesday, November 5th, although you can start anytime you really want to. So if you have a lot of books that you have not read yet, and you think you have too many, consider joining the Read What You Own challenge. It can be very satisfying and enjoyable if you do it right and you pick the right goal. So you're challenged, but it does not become drudgery. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.